Good Friday morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with daily technical updates. Yes, it is Friday, 26th of April, and today we'll start with Microsoft. Earnings in the aftermarket last night, trading around 414 here this morning, as indicated by this dashed line. Let's see where it opens, but it's right around the 55 moving average. What happened yesterday when it actually closed above key support at 397, as mentioned in my video update yesterday afternoon with all the big tech names, and still closed above or inside the cloud area. So if it closes back above here today around 414, well, the uptrend is indeed intact. So that is something to watch out for if you are a stock investor or trader. On the index level, S&P 500 a little bit lower yesterday, but it was actually lower from the opening, so it seems like we are a little bit stuck between 49.53 and 5,080. If we can get back above that, well, then we're looking at 51.46. There's a little bit of resistance. We are still in this negative sentiment mode, where there's a possible correction that could take it lower, but we need confirmation for that. Nasdaq 100 16,963. Well, it actually did close below the cloud and below the 100 moving average. Can it get back above 808? Sorry. Then we could see a push higher. So, but it's a little bit up in the air at the moment, and with all the earning numbers coming in a steady stream, expect a lot of volatility. Eurostoxx 50. 48.88, 5,035. That is the area it needs to break for direction. Keep an eye on that. We have also DAX between 7,620, 18,192. That is the range that it also needs to break. AX 883 for upside potential, otherwise it will slide back lower. There's still potential for that if it can close about 883 and above 60 threshold on the RSI, then expect new highs above 900. Also CAC 40, 8,126, and could slide low to around the 78, 75 key support area here, where we also have this gap area that's very strong. So we could see some sideways trading here for the next few days, but keep an eye on those support and resistance levels. SMI a little bit more undecided here. Can it get back above 11,380? I'm not quite sure. It is sometimes it's not really to see a clear picture. I mean, we are in a downtrend, but if it takes out that peak here at 11,515, well, then that will change the landscape and push the index higher. But for now, it's fairly depressed. Moving on to FX, there was a lot of volatility in FX market this morning, just a few minutes ago in yen pairs. We'll get to that, but it also affected the euro dollar a little bit. We can't see that on the daily chart, but nevertheless, it seems like euro dollar is on the move to 61.8 retracement at 107.77. If it can stay above this 107 level, then it seems to be headed that way. Also, cable pushing towards the 61.8 retracement level at 125.53, and I expect that to be reached fairly shortly. So look at this candle here today. It spiked massively higher, almost up to 157. Did we get there? Well, just below, and then it was hit by massive selling. Let me just show you on a 1 minute chart, just very quickly. Look at that. In a couple of minutes, just got hammered down, and then it came back up. So it seems like I was talking about intervention from the Japanese central bank, but our FX specialist says, well, it's too little to have an impact, and certainly it is. It is resuming uptrend once again, so it's just spiking back. But 157, could it move higher? I mean, we are fairly stretched on the RSI above 83, but there's no divergence indicating we could see higher levels in dollar yen. in the coming weeks, unless really the Japanese central bank really intervenes and push it lower. But this was created some volatility, probably took out some stops too. Hope you didn't get hit too hard. 157 could push higher towards 159, which is the 161.8 correction or projection of this sell-off there. Euro yen also hit by volatility, but it did spike up to 200% of this correction move here at 168 and a change. Still uptrend fairly strong. If we can close above here and the RSI above the trend line here, then the divergence has been cancelled, indicating higher levels. And we just quickly look at the weekly, we see 169. There's some resistance I put up there from really far back. Aussie yen also spiked higher to the 102.68, almost the 161.8 projection of this correction here. There's still potential high. There's no divergence. So in the coming days and weeks, well, not in the weekend, but in the coming days and weeks, we could see a move to above 103, possibly higher on Aussie yen. But be careful. As suddenly a reaction could hit the market here, as we saw. So we are in that area apparently. Sterling yen testing 2015 peak and took it out, and also very close to cancel its divergence there. It seems like a fairly strong yen moves towards 197, possibly higher, unless again a massive intervention. And intervention it's really hard to predict when that is happening, but there are some estimates, and we are talking about it could occur, or maybe they were just testing the water here, the central bank. Aussie dollar breaking above 61.8 retracement at 65.36. I think we could see a move up to the 786 retracement at 65.84, and then a correction. Interesting and key will be, can the RSI close back above 60, thereby being in a bullish sentiment? That would be the key question. Dollar Canada likely to test the 61.8 retracement and key strong support at 136.18, and then I think we will see a bounce back and uptrend to move higher. Still positive sentiment despite being below 60. There's no divergence. It needs to break back below the 40 level to move into a negative sentiment. EURSWISS struggling around the 786 retracements here, our correction level at 97.87 has spiked above. I think we could see a little bit of a setback, but there is positive sentiment, so we should see a move higher in the coming days and weeks. Dollar Swiss basically just be a little bit boring, just moving sideways, so we'll skip that for now. We have the dollar index. I think we'll see it sliding lower to around 105, possibly down to 104.84, maybe a little bit low, maybe even to the 61.8 at 104.67. We can see it's dropping as we speak. Gold seems to has done its minor correction, only 50% of this last leg up here, not even down to the 38.2 or the 61.8. But there was potential to it. It seems like we are pushing higher now here. Can we get back up to 2400? That is the key question. Uptrend is stretched, but bids seems to be fairly strong. So it's really tough to be against the market at the moment. I wouldn't do that until it closes below 22.90, the low there. Then I think we'll see a larger correction, but it's not really in the cards at the moment. We have silver that is also resuming uptrend. It seems, at least it's pushing higher. And if we add this little Fibonacci, very close to the 38.2 retracement at 27.86. And there's potential up to 28.60, 61.8 retracement. I think there will be a little bit of resistance there, to be fair, as long as it stays above the 26.66. On the Other metals markets, we have copper. Copper has cancelled its top and reversal pattern. So let's remove this one, and let's remove this one, and let's remove this one. For now, it's pushing higher, and as we can see here on the weekly, we spoke about it before. 470 potential to that, but then we are if it breaks above that, well, then we are looking at towards the 500. So that's really pushing towards those levels. There's no divergence on the weekly. RSI very strong, and we can see RSI on the daily starting to push above the upper falling trend line. It is an indication that copper is likely to move higher in coming weeks. Energy markets, WTI ticking lower. It's really struggling, I think, but I still believe that we will see a push higher towards the 90 level, and Brent when we're talking about the 93 level in coming weeks. Just one quick on the soft commodities. We have cocoa. Seems to be stalling now. Can't really get above 12,000. It did close above, but then fall back. Look out for a break below 9,988. That could be the signal of selling, but still remains fairly strong, although really stressed on the cocoa futures. Finally, we have movement yesterday in the treasury yields that spiked up to almost 475. It is in a fairly strong uptrend, but I think we could see a correction. Let's see if we do have a little bit of divergence. Yes, it is declining slightly, as you can see. So the peaks there. So we have it is a little bit stressed. So we maybe could have another correction down before next upwards move. It seems a little bit stressed, at least on the short term. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice day, have a nice weekend, and happy trading.